The legendary Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Surround yourself only with people who inspire you, whose presence brings out the best in you." You've likely heard the saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Today, let's dive deeper into this concept from a Stoic perspective. We'll explore the 7 types of individuals who can hinder your growth in Stoic philosophy, and how you can handle these challenging relationships with wisdom. Before we start, if you find value in this video, please give it a like to help spread the teachings of Stoicism. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you won't miss out on future content. Type of person to avoid. Number 1, the chronic complainer. First on our list, the chronic complainer. We all know someone like this, whether it's a friend, a family member, or a co-worker, who seems to find fault in everything. The weather's never right, their job is always frustrating, and even the food at the most popular restaurant fails to meet their standards. They never miss an opportunity to voice their dissatisfaction. Now you might think, why should this bother me? I can just tune them out. But it's not always that simple. Repeated exposure to negativity like this can slowly wear down your mental resilience. It's like a faucet dripping continuously, gradually emptying your emotional tank. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, solutions, rather than problems. For example, picture yourself working on a project with a constant complainer. Each meeting becomes a marathon of grievances, with no constructive discussion. The result? You lose momentum, your energy is drained, and your enthusiasm for the project, perhaps even life itself, begins to fade. So, how can Stoicism help us navigate this situation? There are several strategies you can use. First, try to limit your interactions with this individual as much as possible. If that's not an option, perhaps because they're a colleague or family member, then mentally distance yourself during their rants. Think of their complaints as a brief storm, loud and unsettling, but ultimately powerless against the mountain of your inner peace. Your third strategy is to redirect the conversation toward solutions, or switch to a more productive topic. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This Stoic principle reminds us to fiercely guard our mental tranquility, ensuring that the negativity of chronic complainers doesn't steer us away from the path of resilience and virtue. Type of person to avoid. Number 2, the drama magnet. Imagine your life as a smooth-sailing ship, navigating through calm seas, when suddenly you're pulled into the turbulent waters of a drama magnet. This person seems to have a never-ending stream of crises, conflicts, or controversies, and just like a whirlpool, they possess a magnetic pull that drags you into their storm of chaos. At first, you might find yourself drawn to their energy, thinking it's passion or excitement. But before long, you'll realize that being in their orbit is like trying to steer your ship through a relentless storm, tiring and perilous. The real challenge with drama magnets is that their crises can quickly become your own. Their chaos is contagious. You may find yourself caught up in conflicts you never intended to join. For instance, you might have a friend who's constantly falling out with people in your circle. One day it's Sarah, the next it's Tom. Your friend reaches out for advice, but over time, you realize the cycle is endless. Eventually, you may find yourself caught in the crossfire, taking sides and possibly even losing friends like Sarah or Tom. So how does Stoicism help here? One useful strategy is reflective listening. Rather than offering solutions or taking sides, simply mirror their words. For example, if they say, "I can't believe Sarah said that about me," you might respond with, "So you feel hurt by what Sarah said?" This approach allows you to offer emotional support without getting dragged into the drama yourself. Another Stoic technique might sound a bit surprising: become selectively unavailable. Stoicism teaches us the importance of valuing our time, and sometimes that means stepping back from others' never-ending crises. Turn off your phone during certain hours, set boundaries for your work or personal growth time, and let others know you're unavailable during those periods. As Seneca wisely put it, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This is a powerful reminder when dealing with drama magnets. Instead of worrying about the next crisis, focus on the present moment, where you have full control. Embrace the tranquility of your own life, and don't let someone else's chaos disrupt it. Keep your ship on course, steering clear of the whirlpools that threaten your journey toward personal growth and inner peace. Type of person to avoid. Number 3, the naysayer. Imagine you're an artist, standing before a blank canvas. Every brushstroke you make adds more color, depth, and life to your vision. Then, the naysayer enters the scene. They look at your work, then immediately start critiquing. Are you sure about that color? It doesn't look realistic. Most artists don't make it, you know? Their words, like streaks of gray paint, begin to dull the vibrancy of your creation. This isn't about constructive criticism, which can be helpful. It's about the constant presence of doubt and negativity, undermining your confidence with every word. For instance, let's say you're excited about a new career venture. You've done your research, talked to people in the field, and maybe even taken a few introductory courses. When you share your enthusiasm with the naysayer, they waste no time listing all the reasons it won't work. The market's too saturated. Are you really qualified? What if you fail? Slowly but surely, their doubts begin to creep into your mind, and the certainty you once had starts to waver. So, how can Stoicism help when dealing with a naysayer, especially when there's someone close to you? One effective but unconventional approach is to flip the script and ask them for advice instead of just sharing your ideas. People in an advisory role tend to offer more constructive feedback and are less likely to immediately tear down your dreams. Another Stoic strategy is positive confrontation. Instead of accepting their negativity, challenge them to offer solutions. If they say, "You'll never be able to switch careers at your age," you could respond with, "That's an interesting viewpoint. What steps do you think someone could take to successfully switch careers?" This shifts the conversation from criticism to problem solving, encouraging a more productive dialogue. As Epictetus reminds us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening doesn't mean absorbing every piece of negativity. It means distinguishing between valuable input and distracting noise. When the naysayers try to cloud your canvas with doubt, step back and reflect. Listen carefully, but don't let their words erase the vibrant vision you're creating. Keep painting your life with the bold strokes that are uniquely yours, and don't let anyone turn your masterpiece into a dull, lifeless image. Type of person to avoid. Number 4, the victim. Imagine life as a chess game. Every player has the same pieces and the same ultimate goal, to checkmate the opponent's king. You plan carefully, make sacrifices, and take risks to win. But then there's the victim. In their eyes, the game is rigged. They blame the board, the pieces, or their opponent for every poor move they make. For them, they're always in checkmate, not because of their decisions, but because some external force is conspiring against them. Their story is an endless stream of excuses, always casting themselves as the helpless victim. I can't get ahead at work because my boss doesn't like me, or I can't lose weight because I have bad genetics. While it's true that some people face real challenges and systemic barriers, the victim we're talking about uses their hardships as a permanent excuse, refusing to take any responsibility for their actions or lack of action. You may find yourself drawn into their drama, perhaps as the rescuer, the one who always listens and tries to fix their problems. For example, imagine a friend who constantly blames failed relationships on their ex-partners. You spend hours supporting them, but eventually, you realize that this never-ending cycle is consuming your time and energy, and it might even start to affect your own mindset. So, how should you handle a victim? It's easy to want to step in and save them, offering endless advice and emotional support. But Stoicism advises caution. The Stoics would urge you to maintain firm boundaries to protect your own mental peace. One helpful strategy is compassionate detachment. You can show empathy and offer support, but don't try to solve their problems for them. Be there to listen, but resist the urge to become their perpetual problem solver. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. If you get sucked into the victim's narrative, avoid falling into the same trap. Take charge of your own chessboard. Keep your pieces moving forward, make thoughtful sacrifices when necessary, and remember, in life's game, feeling trapped in checkmate is often a choice, not a fate. Focus on growth and wisdom, not pity or vengeance. Type of person to avoid. Number 5, the toxic positivist. We've all encountered that person who seems to radiate nothing but sunshine, rainbows, and an endless stream of feel-good advice. They're the ones who tell you, just be happy when you're struggling, dismissing your emotions with a light-hearted, almost patronizing optimism. Imagine your life as a garden. There are beautiful flowers, but there are also weeds and pests. A toxic positivist, however, insists that you ignore anything that isn't a blooming rose. Have aphids on your plants? Don't worry about it, just focus on the flowers. Don't let any negativity in, they'd say. While this might sound uplifting at first, it often leaves you feeling invalidated, disconnected from your true feelings, and out of touch with reality. For example, let's say you're going through a tough breakup. You're sad, confused, and just trying to find emotional balance. The toxic positivist's advice? There are plenty of fish in the sea. Just smile and be happy. This oversimplified approach to positivity ignores the complexity of human emotions and the reality of life's challenges. So how can you protect your emotional well-being from the toxic positivist's relentless, good vibes only approach without letting them trample your emotional landscape? One effective strategy is to engage in a conversation that acknowledges both light and dark aspects of life. For example, if they say, "Look on the bright side, at least you have your health," you can respond with something like, "Yes, I'm thankful for my health, but it's also okay for me to feel upset about this situation." Both can exist simultaneously. Another useful technique comes from psychology, known as emotional granularity, the ability to recognize and label a broad range of emotions, both positive and negative. So when the toxic positivist insists you just be happy, take a moment to name your feelings. You might say, "I'm feeling a bit down today because of X," and that's completely valid. This simple act can help you honor your emotions without feeling pressured to mask them with forced positivity. To bring in Stoic wisdom, Seneca once said, "True happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Notice how this reflects balance, acknowledging our duties, which aren't always comfortable, while also enjoying the present moment. Stoicism teaches us to embrace the full range of life's experiences, neither clinging to only the positive nor shying away from the negative, but accepting them all with equanimity. So, the next time a toxic positivist showers you with glittery, oversimplified advice, take a step back. Remember, a garden needs both sunshine and rain to thrive. Allow yourself the space to feel and grow through all of life's nuances. Embrace the richness of your emotional landscape and continue nurturing your garden with all the colors, shadows, and growth it deserves. Type of people to avoid: number 6, the manipulator. Imagine your life as a movie. You're the protagonist, writing the script as you go, with a clear vision of how your story should unfold. Who your allies are, what obstacles you'll face, and where the plot will lead. Then, enter the manipulator, the shadowy producer who, without you noticing, starts subtly changing the script, steering the story in their favor until one day you realize your life's narrative has shifted away from what you intended. The manipulator is a master of emotional or psychological control. They might use flattery, guilt, or even deceit to push you toward decisions that benefit them. For instance, imagine a friend who always seems to get you to pick up the tab by saying something like, "You've been doing so well, and I've had a tough month. It wouldn't mean much to you, but it would really make my day if you could treat me to dinner." Over time, this behavior erodes your sense of fairness, leaving you feeling taken advantage of. But confronting them becomes uncomfortable because they've framed it as an act of kindness or a favor. So how do you deal with a manipulator when their tactics feel so subtle and persuasive? One method is called fogging. This technique involves acknowledging any valid points in their statements, but not allowing their emotional pressure to sway you. For example, if they say, "You're so successful, it's nothing to you to pay for dinner," you could respond with, "It's true that I've been doing well, but I'd prefer to split the bill as we usually do." Another key strategy is setting firm boundaries and enforcing them. If they try to guilt you into lending them money or committing to something you're uncomfortable with, it's important to say no assertively. A simple, calm statement like, "I can't lend money, but I'm happy to offer support in other ways," can preserve your integrity while keeping the relationship intact. Drawing from Stoic wisdom, Epictetus reminds us, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Manipulators thrive on your predictable reactions, whether it's your kindness, guilt, or need for approval. By choosing a different response, you regain control over your life's narrative. Remember, you are the one holding the pen in your story. Your journey is yours to create, and while other characters may enter the scene, it's your values and decisions that should steer the plot. Don't let anyone rewrite your script for you. Stay true to your path and reclaim the power to dictate your own direction. Type of people to avoid: number 7, the time vampire. Imagine your daily routine as a symphony, a beautifully orchestrated sequence where each task and commitment plays a vital role in creating a harmonious melody. Enter the time vampire, a disruptive force that screeches off-key, shattering your rhythm and turning your once perfect composition into chaotic noise. The time vampire isn't necessarily malevolent. In fact, they might appear harmless. Perhaps it's a colleague who constantly interrupts you with trivial questions, fragmenting your workday into disjointed fragments. Or a friend who repeatedly invites you to events you're not interested in, leaving you feeling obligated and drained. These interactions may seem insignificant on their own, but when added up, they can hijack your valuable time and derail your progress. How to handle a time vampire. 1. Set boundaries with time management techniques. To safeguard your productivity, use tools like the Pomodoro technique. This involves working in focused 25-minute intervals, followed by short breaks. During these sessions, make it clear to others that you are unavailable to be disturbed. This approach not only protects your most productive moments, but also establishes clear boundaries with others. 2. Master the art of saying no. If the time vampire is someone in your social circle, learn to decline invitations or demands in a way that is both firm and gracious. There's no need for lengthy explanations. A simple, "I appreciate the invite, but I can't make it," will suffice. Remember, saying no to unnecessary commitments is really a way of saying yes to your priorities. 3. Recognize the difference between urgent and important. Time vampires often present their needs as urgent, but it's crucial to distinguish between what feels pressing and what is genuinely important. Focus on what aligns with your goals and obligations. Redirect your energy away from distractions and towards what will drive your growth. Stoic insights on time. Seneca wisely reminds us, life, if well lived, is long enough. Time is the most valuable resource we have, and Stoicism teaches us to use it intentionally. Allowing a time vampire to drain it means losing moments that could otherwise be spent on purpose, growth, and fulfillment. Your symphony, your rules. In the grand orchestration of your life, each note and each melody should contribute to the vision you've set for yourself. Don't let the disruptions of a time vampire derail your flow. Hold the baton firmly and conduct your life with purpose, ensuring that each moment contributes to the harmonious masterpiece of your journey. Reflection upon ourselves. As we conclude today's exploration of the types of people who can disrupt our journey towards stoic resilience and wisdom, it's essential to pause and turn the lens inward. While it's often easier to identify these traits in others, the real transformative work begins when we examine ourselves. Are we, even unintentionally, embodying any of these disruptive roles in someone else's life? Do we unknowingly drain others' time with constant requests or interruptions? Have we dismissed someone's struggles with hollow, feel-good positivity? Or perhaps, have we relied on others to solve problems that we should face ourselves? Stoicism is not merely a philosophy for navigating external challenges. It is a tool for self-mastery and growth. Marcus Aurelius wisely reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength begins with self-awareness, an invitation for introspection. If today's discussion sparked any clarity or introspection, let it be the beginning of a deeper dialogue, not only with others, but also with yourself. What roles do you play in the lives of those around you? How can you ensure your presence in others' lives fosters support, authenticity, and growth? Take this opportunity to reflect. Engage in thoughtful dialogue, whether with yourself or others. The insights we share and the experiences we exchange are powerful tools for collective wisdom. Parting words. As you move forward, may your choices align with your virtues, your actions embody your wisdom, and may the life you create be nothing short of a masterpiece. Let's commit to being mindful participants in the stories we share with others and conscious authors of our own narratives.